Hi, this is Mr. Addison. In this video, we are going to look at the presentation, the slideshow presentation for the budget project. Here's an example that was done by Emma Lazarus. She did it in the 2019-2020 school year. She decided to plan a Halloween party. What I want you to notice is that her slideshow has a Halloween theme to it. Also notice, see how there's some transition when I move from the first slide to the other slide. She also grouped like things together. She put supplies in one, decorations in the other, food, drinks, activities. One thing that I want you to notice is that I can clearly see the prices on her screenshots or snippets that she used. The last thing that she included was her spreadsheet. Yes, you must take a screenshot of your spreadsheet and include it. And I can see in the screenshot that she is under budget by $4.44. A negative means that you are under budget. It could also show up, the number could also show up in parentheses. It really just depends on how you formatted it. So her budget was $250. She was under budget. She did a fantastic job. And I can easily check the items on her spreadsheet. So for example, we were looking at ginger Canada Dry. It was $1.79. If I go to her spreadsheet, there's her ginger ale, $1.79. So it all ties up. So a couple other things I want to point out is when you are doing your presentation, make sure that you have, it looks pretty. You have some kind of theme going on. Make sure you group like things together. So if you're doing the dream bedroom, you might put all the bedding on one slide and the furniture on the other and the decorations on the other. For the $1 million one, you might want to do like things together, like cars on one, maybe the house by itself, jewelry, clothes, technology, whatever works out, whatever makes sense. Now, don't feel forced to put them all on one slide. Now, in her case, it worked out, but if you need two food slides, for example, then use two food slides. It's okay. Don't be forced to put it all on one, but by the same token, no need to come up with a 30 slideshow. You don't need to put one picture or one snipping or screenshot per slide. So you can group common things together. A couple things to keep in mind when you're doing your slideshow is, let's say, for example, you have this particular one and you want to get rid of excess space. Now, actually, Emma did a fantastic job. She doesn't have any excess space on her images, but let's say that you do. The way that you do it is you click on the image and you look for this button here, the crop image button. Click on it, and you want to see this little dark hash, this little dark line. I'm going to click it and I'm going to drag. And as soon as I do that, it just erased what was there. So if I want to get rid of the word sponsor, for example, and click on that. Oh, make sure you're doing it on the black line. You can also do it in the corner, but not the blue. And then let it go, and there, I got rid of that. I didn't have to, it was just an example. And you can also resize your image so I will be able to see it. So making it bigger will make it easy to see the price and stuff like that. So you do have some options. Let's talk about the rubric. Make sure you're sticking to the rubric. The spreadsheet is worth 60% of your grade. So the requirements of the spreadsheet is you have to have a minimum of 15 items. That does not mean that your spreadsheet ends on row 15. So check that out. Make sure that all of column D is a formula, not with cell references, not numbers. So this is column D right here. This entire column needs to be a formula. It shouldn't be 1 times 36.99. Those are using numbers. It should be cell references. So it should be equal B5 times C5. And you also need to have formulas for column F and G. So looking at column F, so it should be you're multiplying equal total before taxes. So that would be D5 times tax rate, E5. So you multiply that. And then column G, you are adding taxes plus total before taxes. So equal D5 plus F5. So if you haven't done that already, make sure all this is a formula. All of this is a formula. All of this is a formula. And your tax rate is 6.25%. Unless you are buying food from the grocery store, clothes, medicine. And there's a special exception for houses that we did talk about. You also need to make sure that you did a sum for columns D, F, and G. That means that this column is added, this column is added, and this column is added. There should be a formula using the equal sum for columns D, F, and G. Make sure that you calculate the over and under. That means that this number right here, that was a calculation. She did some math where she subtracted both of these numbers. The budget was $250. She typed that in, and then she had to do some math. Make sure that your project comes within budget. If you're over, you're going to lose 10 points. Now, for the birthday party, you had to be within $5. She's within $5, so she's great. The $1 million, you have to be within $1. For the dream bedroom, you had two options, so make sure you check them out. I think one was for $25 and the other was for $10. Supposed to check that out. And then apply the appropriate formattings, the dollar signs, the commas, and the underlines. Go check the directions. Every direction has an example of what that should look like. So I will tell you that Emma's is actually great. She put the dollar signs on the first row only, comma style, which you can't tell, but she did. She used the appropriate underlines, and she ended with a dollar sign. So check that out. Now for the presentation, you must include your name and the title. You have to have all of your images, and they have to be clearly visible. You have to have a snippet of your spreadsheet, and then the majority of the grade is in your creativity and effort, visually appealing, and not too many major mistakes. That's it. This is the rubric, so make sure you check out the rubric and make sure you turn it in by the deadline. Have fun!